peace, power, and love sent from above, from within, all around, in and out, from the divine essence of our being, whatever we may call this undescribable energy that people they call it God, Allah, Jah, Jehovah. A lot of names is given, but we know it's just one universal energy that we have. Is our source of life. And again, today, this morning, with Blackanized International Nubian Consciousness, Conscious Chess Move, your host, Humam Abdulmalik, who regurgitates and the truth, motivates, stimulates, and agitate. The truth, the essence of the truth, according to the divine decree that's given to us and left for us by our ancestors, those who came before us, that were about us, and for us to stand strong against all storms that we come across in life. This morning, as usual, I just want to reiterate our social ills and our strong will for us to come together, unify, organize, and develop an infrastructure. I'm telling you, it's becoming proportional in our community that someone is organizing and taking our children. I never heard of it the way it's going on today. It's like every other day there's a police report of a missing child or someone missing from our community. It wasn't like that before. Now it's like that. It's ridiculous. It's like it was one pandemic after another. If it ain't drugs, it ain't murder, now it's kidnapping. They could say for sex rings, body parts. The thing is, they got knowledge of it. And they got satellites in the sky. They look down on us, but it ain't important. Because it's part of a plan. Part of the eugenics plan, part of the depopulation plan, part of things that, we take for granted. A lot of us take for granted because we say, granted, that don't exist. That ain't real. So we got other objectives or other obstacles that in our lives, negative and positive, that don't even have us look at the reality that we face with. For those moments of entertainment or those feel-good moments. And what we go through as a people, trying to be positive and righteous, and sometimes people fall short. We gotta, like our brother said, if you fall short, fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And we should know who said those great words. I'm not going to say who said it, because we should know. And for us who don't know, that's a little assignment. I was just thinking, man, about the missing body situation. It's like every day or every other day that we know about. I don't understand that, man. Like all of a sudden it's a new fad, a new trend. But it was going on before, but not at the alarming rate that is going on within our communities. I mean, within Washington, D.C., Southeast, or whatever. I never knew that it happens like that, or it went so it was unreported or something. I don't know, but I know every other day going on now. That's ridiculous. And then like we don't even worry about it's a lack of concern until it hit home. If it ever hit home, I will it not to never hit nobody home, that it doesn't affect anybody like that. But we got to wake up. Like we got to wake up with the young brothers that's in the street with that quote, we got to eat. That's why they do what they do. Justice got to be served for those who have taken a life unjustly. But we're trying to save those that can be saved or want to be saved. If we give them something tangible, we need to develop some on-the-job training where they being trained, they can get paid. And we also got to give them trades, things that they can do with their hand, and other stuff, because it's like we always was in the mindset of those who are in control to be subservient. That's the reality. But they got, the educational system that we can go through and become affluent or whatever, or first class, second class citizen, and strive for that. We strive for that, but then we forget who we are on the inside because we be so involved on the outside. See, that's why we forget about understanding in the universe, and we just be infected by the universe. And those are the things that they use to manipulate us. It's like being on that Goebbels treadmill. It's like we be overcome by desires that are manipulated and by social manipulation, social engineering. Again, I emphasize reading the bell curve, where it talks about how the education and all that is like in a laboratory to stimulate. They deal with stimuli, things that will stimulate you to do this or do that. It's a science. These people are they took on our titles because we are the master scientists, but we haven't been in the practice. And then when we do go in those areas, we perpetrate the system that is in place. And we got to stop doing that on a spiritual level. On every level that we exist in this plane or this realm, we got to change. We got to re-educate ourselves. We have to start to rethink, reevaluate, and turn this thing back around in our favor, holistically, in our community, uplift our community. See, we gotta stop letting people validate us and giving us labels and giving us titles, and we accept that. We gotta come out of that mindset or that dilemma of thinking like that in order for us to uplift and become who we are so supposed to be as the greatest people on the planet. That's who we are. It's just like we hold the key to unlock mysteries of ourselves and to manifest a better environment within ourselves, within our households and families and community. But we don't do it because the social engineering or the social narcotics that we've been injected with, unbeknowing to ourselves because they do it so subtly, because we caught up, we been merged into their system. Like I'll say, integration bring on assimilation. Assimilation bring on emulation. We forget about ourselves, and we can't do that. We must rediscover ourselves and who we are, starting from the inside, the mind and the heart, and develop outside of that. Once you develop your inner being through understanding, so that we can become and be, once again, significantly, say, righteous and in harmony and peace, so that we can uplift our people. I want to say Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Hotep, Ashe, to one of the great brothers in the community that I see is viewing, Brother Cedric Carter, another great brother in the community, very astute, intelligent brother that's affiliated with Ceasefire, Don't Smoke the Brothers and Sisters. Great brother, and I say again, Salaam Alaikum, Hotep, Ashe, and a very great day, God Day, this you be blessed with. But we have a mission that we gotta accept. We gotta accept the mission of correcting our behavior, not only our personal behavior, but our extended family behavior, especially our young soldiers or young warriors or the young youth, the young adults, the young brothers, the young human beings, our extended family members. I don't want to give them no title as thugs, gangsters, and all that. Not the negative stuff. We need a positive agenda. And in that, we got to change the thinking. We got to change the language and the terms that we use. We got to develop for them an avenue to come out of the cesspool that they're in and be positive and constructive members of society. A society that we're trying to mold and shape as a people within the society that's supposed to be based on a democratic process. But I see it as being hypocritical in its nature. It's embedded in it, in the fabric of it. And the moral fabric of this system is hypocritical. In a sense, it's demonic, because they always, in the process of manipulation, psychological warfare against us as a people. And I'm not a racist as such, but I am a racist man. I love my people. I love our potential as a people to turn this thing around. See, I don't love what was done to us and tell us to forget it, to forget everything that they've done to us and still doing to us. They want us to overlook it as a people and, be caught up in this perception of everything is all right, while they continue to dismantle us in so many ways unbeknown to us through social engineering, when they're in their laboratories creating diseases, when their curriculum in their schools, even though we can get through that and wiggle-miggle through the school, but it's all about changing our spirit, deculturizing us. We go through all the school system of being indoctrinated or educated, whatever you want to call it, but if you don't have no identity of who you are, you're going to be lost in that quagmire of deception, because you're taught nothing about who you are, your culture, your spirituality. See, we got to go back to African spirituality. We got to go back to the ancient future so that we can understand who we are and who we are now, who we were then. See, if you don't know who you was, you ain't going to know who you are now. The past is the past. But in the past is the lessons to be learned for the present. It was left. Why do you think all this stuff is left for us to see? And once we see, it stimulates something in us that bring about enlightenment, elevation, and motivation, so that we take from that ancient knowledge that we have. We got to find it through reading, through mastermind, master teachers, and we regurgitate it to each other. And we come together in circles that we have, those positive, constructive circles that bring us together, that elevate us. Even in the church and the masjid, got to do the same thing, because they use all those for divide and conquer us as a people, because we are the majority of the people that practice Islam or Christianity or whatever, Hebrew Israelites or Jew. We're the majority in this country that practice that. But if we are separated and not together, then what purpose does it serve? Keeping us together. That's the social narcotics of white supremacy and institutionalized racism, and also that methodology of what they created and said about the Willie Lynch syndrome. It's all divide and conquer. We've seen some of it in the movie they made, Birth of a Nation, and stuff like that. But we know about it, or should have known about it, way before they showing movies. They show movies to us, and then it's like people wake up, but we supposed to been woke. We supposed to been know our story, our history, not their deception of our story, not their makeup, distorted, their illusionary story of our history to give themselves a story. See, his story is a deception of our story. Why do you think they keep digging up around the earth? And every time they dig up something, who they find? They find representatives of us who've been there, who left this for us to see, to be guided by it, to open the doors to our development spiritually, culturally. Why is it that the Vatican has so much information of our ancient scrolls and relics of our, if it's ancient Kemet, ancient Nubia, it's the interior of Africa that they stole everything from, and it's right under the Vatican. But it's ours. But that ain't the issue. The issue is, it's part of the issue. It's a very pertinent part of it. But what's most important today, in this day and time, is the growth and development of a people, not only locally, but nationally. Not only nationally, but globally. Because this poisonous is worldwide. They're not only doing it here, they're doing it everywhere. In Africa, Australia, South America, up in Canada, Mexico, and we are the ones that are always affected by it. Melanated people. People with this hue here. They want to get rid of us in a certain degree, because right now they don't need us. They're going into AI, artificial intelligence, a robotic era and time. But they still need people, but they don't need us like they used to need us, because they're established, well established now. That's why they're trying to implement their new world order now. That's why we playing this political poker now. Not us. We are at the table being dealt hands as they shuffle the deck. And if those of us that's sort of be in position to be at the table, we got to try to manifest equal shares of what's in the stacks. And with that, I say, our job today is to protect our community, stop the snatching of our children, our young sisters and older sisters, or young brothers or older brothers. We know that they doing it for body parts and sex rings. We know it. Then we got to stop it. See, we know it because we feel the effects of it, but they know it because they got the information to know it. They know it because on that level, they're behind it. On a high level is where they need those. They can't wait in line to get hearts and kidneys and all that. So they do what they do best. They organize their stuff, and our children become up missing. For melanin also, because it's $253, something like that, a gram. So I just want us to rise up, me included, not like I want us. I'm part of it, to come into our social understanding, our spiritual and divine nature, our economical senses, and start to parlating all this positive energy in one direction in a unified method, so that we can all merge together and be unified and stop being separated by religious dogma or whatever. And we got to reach out young adults that's on the street corners. Because when we killing each other or maiming each other or stealing from, we hurting just ourselves. And then we got the slave catchers that's going to try to put us on a plantation. It's the only place that you can be a slave according to the law, the fraudulent law of the 13th Amendment. When you go to jail, that's where you're a slave at, according to the Constitution, according to their law. So, in knowing their law, why are we going to put ourselves in a position for that? We can't keep perpetrating it. We can't keep being a gerbil on the treadmill. It's going in circles. And it's, some individuals step out of the mold, but when you step out of the mold, you can't be egotistical and self-centered and arrogant. You got to have the concept of that you're part and parcel of the growth and development of our community as a whole. So let's divinely come together in peace and love and develop on those lines to build our community, to build ourselves. Let's purify ourselves. Let's change our language. Let's change our thinking as a people and interconnect with people with that same positive concept and network and collaborate and come together as a people. I mean, it's like, how much margin we going to keep doing? Protesting we going to keep doing. I guess it's good when we can come together and affect change. But if it's just for a picture-taking moment or television or whatever, celebrity status and all that, it ain't about that. We're dying. We're dying. A lot of it come from outside and a lot of it come from the inside. If we can stop the inside, not only locally, but nationally, in each and every community that suffers from this manipulation, orchestrated dilemma. It's by design. It's by design, and everything's interconnected, from the school system to the pipeline to prison, to the prison being for profit and all that, and the frequencies and the vibrations that distort our energies, what we put in, the food that we put in us, the music and the thinking, what we read, what affect us. All this is interconnected. If we ain't not dealing with it from a divine source, with understanding of our inner verse to affect this universe that these manipulators and social scientists have control of through their mechanism of mass mind control and the media. Then they come out with terms of fake news and alternative ultimate facts, alternative facts. All that is code words. It's code words to step up to whatever, and we are being affected by it. We have to step our game now, because this is war, spiritual war, mental war, financial war. economical war, all on all levels. See, we're at war in a time of peace to develop ourselves, so when the war comes, we be ready. Because something coming down the pipe, some tsunami of some sort politically, the fiat money and all that, we got to be aware of the changing the currency, the monetary system. We got to be aware so it won't be no culture shock, and we can just go in a state of historicalness. We prepare for it right now. That's why we got to read. We got to keep abreast of what they're doing, but we got to keep doing what we're doing. We got to be more vigilant and observant in our community and be protectors and guardians of our community. That's why we need our young warriors to wake up, come out of the stupor that they're in, come out of that intoxication that they're in. Not only them, us, the parents. We must protect our elders and our youth. We got to do that today. And we got to all come together, not for selfish purposes or aggrandizement of ourselves, but we got to do it collectively. And there's some of us that's, we got to overcome whatever that we have, idiosyncrasies or whatever, so that we can blend and merge together for the same purposes. I'd like to say peace to my brother Jeffrey Washington. We go back and where we was like little and the lessons on the basketball court, we're our village, where our development of our village uptown, Northwest, St. Stephen Church on Newton Street was it was a great growing up experience. We got to get back to that experience where brotherhood and spirituality was the mixture. When we grew up together, the communities were like we can trust each other, we can leave the doors open. We had a really extended family where you might get 4 or 5 beatings before you got home if you did something wrong. I'd like to say good morning to my brother Jeffrey Washington. And with that, for those that were tuned in, I hope I said something that stimulated us to become more morally defined, more spiritually divine, more culturally refined, to be the people or persons that can affect other people to be better, to motivate, to stimulate, to agitate us to do better, to put forth more effort. If it's just in communication, when we see people throughout the day, give them a perspective of what we're trying to do, coming together. We're trying to mold and shape into infrastructure of peace, love, and harmony. And we gotta support one another in that effort. But the main thing that's going on in our communities, we gotta take back our communities. We don't want our communities infused with a lot of slave catchers, because they say they don't have no jump out squad, but we know different. And so we don't want these type of repressive acts in our community. So we have to be the people in the community to protect our community and to protect our elders, make our elders feel safe, feel like they can come outside and they know ain't nothing gonna happen. We got to control our communities. From our young brothers that's on the street corner, we got to get them. Because if we don't get them, there's going to be another generation of this going on. Because the police can't stop this. It can't stop because it's by design. It's propaganda. It's like how can the goose feed the gander when the goose is putting the stuff out there to affect the gander? How can we go to the enemy and tell the enemy to give us help? If we done been all the way up from, in this 2017, and 500 years we've been in captivity, and 100 years of so or whatever that we been affected by it, do you think they're gonna start helping us now? It's propaganda, it's an illusion, it's hypocrisy. So with that, I just wanted us to say love, peace, and understanding, and we got to rise up to get up. We got to protect ourselves, protect our own, because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? We can't depend on those people who ain't been doing nothing. It's a charade, a political charade, hypocrisy at the highest order. We can get some of the crumbs and all that because we know they're working with money. We know that. We got information about that. But what's the resources? Are we getting that? Or when we do get it, if we do get it, who get it and how they going to be distributed? I tell you what, all they got to do is give us reparations. Give us reparations, give us land or whatever, give us what they owe us through what they gave the Jews and what they gave the Indians and what they gave the Japanese. And they ain't gave us nothing. And we got to demand that in this day and time. So with that, let's stand up. Let's get up and motivate, stimulate, and agitate for the development of an infrastructure that's based on us, about our spirituality, about our culture, about economics, about education, and about every aspect of our living. And let's get off that gerbil treadmill of perpetrating this system of hypocrisy. In the United States of hypocrisy under satanic administration, we don't have no real benefits. We just got a charade, distortion of our reality. They give us a reality of disillusionment and all that. We have to develop our reality. We have to manifest the dream that King was talking about, that it may have been a nightmare. But now in the time since we have that torch that he left, him, Malcolm, every ancestor, Francis Cress Wilson, all of them left information and their guideposts for us to develop and build upon. So let's come out of that burning house the King talk about. Let's put that fire out that we have burning in our community. Let's be protectors of our community. Let's protect our young adults. Yes, let's make our elders feel good. Let's make our younger adults, children, feel good, where they can come out and feel safe, because we in the community protecting our community. Ain't nobody can do it like us. Nobody. We just got to get that mutual trust and love and respect and honor for each other, and do it from a divine context. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Jew, whatever. We as a people got to come together, especially in this day and time, under this weather, in this political climate. Peace, power, and love for the benefit of us all. All humanity got to come together in sanity, and don't be part of the insanity that's going on, because it's not about us. It's against us. It's to reach their phase that they want to reach, this new world order that they're trying to develop out of chaos and disorder. Prepared. We got to be prepared on all levels, unified. It ain't all about good times or having a good time. It's about developing our mind, our spirit, and our community on a divine level. The temple we've been blessed with, and we on the pathway of our ancestors that left the signs for us to partake of the divine knowledge, the esoteric knowledge, to develop ourselves and become who we once was, that we are now. All we got to do is tap into it, to our divine nature. Motivate somebody, stimulate somebody. Tell them that you love them. That's what we got, the energy of love, peace, and harmony. That's what we got to develop. We got to stop the killing, the maiming, and the stealing. Change your mindset. Change your language, the way you talk. Everything. Reach out to our young warriors on them corners. Those that need justice from the murders. Got to deal with that. But the other brothers and sisters that's on the corner, that's looking for a way out, we got to give them that way out. Entrepreneurship. We got to develop the mindset. They're already that, but in a negative perspective. We need them to become around in the positive perspective. So with that, have a great day. As the sun, we was up before the sun again. So now we got to be that shining light, the stimulating light, in the name and the essence of our